everyone. Welcome to The Standpoint. Well, if you do what I do, and most of us, I'm sure, have heard such stories where women come to you, especially in cases of divorce, child custody, or child maintenance, and they come back and tell you that my lawyer didn't help me. I don't think my lawyer was interested in my case. The judge was unfair. Some of the things that the judge said, were so unfair. Today, we are going to find out. I have 3 lawyers as panelists. We are going to find out. How do you know the kind of lawyer you need for your case? Choosing the right lawyer as a woman is our topic for discussion today, and it's going to be very, very revealing. Because, in life, the only certain things about life is that there will be uncertainties. My name is Gifty Auntie. Welcome to The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth, Ophelia Crossland Design, sold this dress for me. My beads, as always, by Matilda Hood Couture MHC. My hair by Chocolat Hair. Thank you to Power Cosmetics for the makeup product, and Makeup and More apply the makeup for us. We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Amma, and I'm a W Young professional.
My name is Benedetta. I'm a W in business.
Hi, I'm AC, and I'm proud to represent the W and family.
I have access to the best sources of inspiration, an outstanding mentor, career workshops, and more.
I am connected to a panel of professional advisors. I even got a new business partner through a W seminar.
Being a working mother is amazing, and W empowers us with special lifestyle offers, an early saver for the kids, and bank assurance protection for the whole family.
Sign on to W at any Access Bank branch near you.
Get inspired.
Get connected.
Get empowered.
W, inspiring, connecting, empowering.
Ayo best my power.
Tinatek tomac mixture. Oh, be only osani ye fuyeri be niasem. Sana tinatek malakeno so. Etu malaria, tipaye, stress, any unam yao biase.
Free 020-816-0807 and 0276-875629.
Tinatek in Europe.
Eye busien chamfa. Live. Hi. One can. Neighbor to for dinner.
LEAP.
Lip tomato paste.
Oh,
What else?
honey. When you say little tomato paste, they are there. And so be so.
Don't want to say hi.
Madam, the food tastes very good. What's the secret?
LEAP.
Lip.
Leaf tomato paste. Emma Edouani de Papa.
For bulk purchase, contact 050-140-1088.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. Well, we'd like to acknowledge our sponsors. That's Access W by Access Bank. They have this wonderful product also for women, and it's all about maternal health, and it's just amazing. So just call them. Their number's scrolling. Contact them, and then they will explain things further to you so you can take advantage of that. Thank you to Auntie Mary Gripe Water and Malatu by NS Chemist. We are also sponsored by Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator expert, and Lip Tomato, good taste. And then Tinated Malacare, Tinated Venicare, and Tinated Tomacare. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. But today it's all about the law and legal advice. Seated right opposite me is one of my 3 lawyers for today. Lawyer Cynthia Kwaku Jumo, international banking and finance lawyer. Welcome back to The Standpoint.
Thank you for having me again.
Good. And next to her, I have Mrs. Esther Agbodo Nyamalo. She is the managing partner, Lincoln Rose Law Associates. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's been a long time.
Very long time. Yes.
Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
And next to Mrs. Nyamalo is my prodigal sister, Marian Atabwai. She's a legal practitioner. She used to be a core member of the Standpoint, abandoned us for a while, but welcome back home.
Thank you, Gifty. Good to be back.
Mrs. Nyamalo, isn't it a fact that sometimes you can have a lawyer who doesn't believe in your case anyway?
I want to say that for you to look for a lawyer to do a case for you, it's a serious business. You who is going to look for the lawyer, you must do proper shopping. Like anything else. Gifty, I like your lovely shoes. If I want the same shoes, maybe I'll ask you where you got them from. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
For you to have a lawyer to do your divorce case for you, you must try and know the lawyer. Don't just walk to any lawyer that you want your divorce. Sometimes you have to know the track record of that lawyer, whether he or she has done some divorce cases in the past, and what is the success rate of such a lawyer. Maybe my colleague is a commercial lawyer as we speak. If you have a divorce case, I wouldn't ask you go to Marian. Even though she worked with ACT Foundation, that probably would have given her the background. But look for a lawyer who is in the business of doing family law, or let me put it, divorce. If you just hear the big lawyers on radio, those who are always arguing on the radio, and you have a divorce case and you go to any of them, I'm not sure you are at the right place. And unfortunately, our profession is such that we won't come out and tell you, oh, I don't do divorce cases. You may find out for yourself as a client. You have to find out. And like you rightly said, judges are human beings. In my study of jurisprudence, I got the understanding that sometimes the judgment judges give, their personal circumstances come through those judgments. Like you said, if you're a rapist when you were young, and today you are a judge and doing criminal cases, and they bring you a rapist, how will you feel? Gifty. In any case, these arguments will come up.
Right.
But during the proceedings, your lawyer has to be up and doing, proactive, be able to punch holes into the arguments of your husband who wants to throw you out of his house. The judge will listen. At the end of the day, the judgment will depend on what goes out for the judge to hear. Otherwise, it's difficult.
You know, see that you were nodding at some of the things that Mrs. Nyamalo was saying, but how, I repeat, how would you know that this lawyer, because in Ghana it's popularity and fame, as you rightly said, you know, we've heard the name on radio and seems to be arguing for women and, you know, children and all that. But we all know that even some activists are victims of abuse or abusers themselves. Elsewhere in the world, like the UK, you have lawyers advertising, law firms. Here we don't do it like that. So how would you know?
In most cases, the lawyer you see might not be the lawyer who handles the case. The case might be given to an associate.
Yes, that's another thing that women complain about.
So when you go to the lawyer, you are paying for a service. The lawyer is not doing you a favor. And even if the lawyer was doing you a favor and said, I'll do it pro bono, you're still in a position to decide what it is that you want and ask questions. Come with a list of questions and let the lawyer explain to you what the process is and what the strategy is.
Right.
A lawyer who handles family cases and divorce knows the judges who handle these cases and should be able to tell you, based on the judge that sits on it, what the strategy should be. there has to be case management and case conferences where you are involved, and the strategy should be discussed with you. And you should agree that strategy. Okay. You don't go and sit in front of a lawyer and give your life to the lawyer and say, because they're a learned person, then, okay, they know everything. And that's the approach.
Right.
And that a lot of people adopt, Lawyers are human beings. We just happen to be lawyers and we're doing a job. But our society has placed so much emphasis on celebrating the profession that it gets to a point people get very intimidated by sitting in front of a lawyer. Oh, he knows everything. If I ask too many questions, ask those questions. And if you feel uncomfortable, don't instruct that lawyer. The fact that the lawyer has handled a high-profile case doesn't mean they're good for your case. Okay? A lawyer who you don't even know might be better for your case, and we've got instincts. We just don't use it. And I can tell you that most of the women who complain later on, when they look back, will tell you, what, something wasn't right. I just sensed something wasn't right, but I thought, okay, he's a lawyer, so ask questions. And I think that's, for me, is what I would say, ask questions. You're going to pay for it. So you expect that the service should be...
So, Cynthia, before I take a break, what are some of the questions that you should be asking? Marian, I know you want to come in, so hold on to
questions,
that one.
It would depend exactly on your expectations. So if there are children involved, the custody arrangements, if there's settlement, you need to know what the process is. I would expect ask the lawyer, who is going to handle my case? Is it going to be an associate? And if there is an associate, can that person be in the meeting with me so I get to know who this person is? Ask questions about fees. Ask questions about, so what should I expect? Look, that's when you should ask, quote unquote, dumb questions.
Right.
The obvious questions. What should I expect? What's the court going to be?
Have a way of making you feel very stupid.
Then it's not the right lawyer.
You think you're asking sensible questions.
Then it's not the right lawyer. So far as I'm concerned,
they can intimidate you.
You shouldn't allow them to intimidate you. Sorry.
And a woman who is desperate, frustrated, especially, her husband wants to take the kids away from her and all that. You are already intimidated, you are frustrated. You're like, okay, you help me. Anything you can do to help me.
I think it's important that even before we find ourselves at that crossroad where we need the services of a lawyer, to educate ourselves, empower ourselves with information. If you have a heart problem, you don't go to a general practitioner. If your child is sick, you may go to a general practitioner, but you go to who? You go and see a pediatrician. Sure. You get it. Some women prefer to have a female gynecologist instead of a male gynecologist. All these people are called doctors, but they are specialized in different areas. And it's the same with the profession that we are in. We are all called lawyers, but some specialize in investment, banking, or financial matters. Some specialize in matrimonial matters or family law matters. Some specialize in litigation. So they go to court and they are very familiar with the court processes. But it's important for you to know that when it comes to dispute resolution, it's a continuum. And litigation is a continuum, like it's a line. Like how we have the way we have the number line.
Yeah.
So litigation is the last point for resolving a dispute. There's arbitration, there is mediation. There are various ways in which your lawyer, depending on the matter you present to them, should be able to advise you that the case you have brought before them is something that doesn't even have to go to court. The fact that you're in front of a lawyer doesn't necessarily mean that the matter you have should go to court.
You're watching The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to our supporters. Matter Miss gives us the port. Go to your guts. Yeah, today they are not ready, but they've been supporting us, so let me still give them credit. Pilco Fruit Juices, they produce the daily fruit juices. Thank you to Awake Purified Water by Casa Preco Company Limited. For every bottle of Awake Purified Water you buy, they give 1 Ghana Peswa to the National Cardiothoracic Fund. So we don't really joke with them at all. We are happy about it. And of course, our ever faithful Cake Technique and Mac Catering Services, they make sure that they provide us something to eat whilst we record. We take a short break. When we come back, this conversation will continue.
Middo, what?
Odo, oyo best my power. Cause one num tinted venicare what? When him say tinted venicare, and num quania bibidra. Clinically, no, ya testing with Department of Pharmacology and Microbiology at University of Ghana on Medical School.
Sir?
Omudu stamp with say bye. Minia, num tinted venicare what?
Hey, Tinatet Ambassador.
Abuaye Papa. 020-816-0807 and 0276-875629.
Tina 13 euro.
When it comes to your family, turn to the anti-malarial you can trust. Mala 2. Mala 2 is a highly effective artemether-lumefantrine anti-malarial available in syrup and tablets, specially formulated for children and adults. Keep the whole family healthy with Mala 2.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Remember, this program is also aired on ABN TV, which is across Western Europe, parts of Canada, Asia, and North Africa on Sky Channel 235. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, who make sure that we don't have rats and stuff in the studio, because they always clean and fumigate the studio anytime it becomes necessary. They are, I believe, the best cleaning services that you need to employ. Now, Cynthia, before we went for the break, I was asking, is it important to have a lawyer, even if things are okay, or you can wait when trouble comes, then you go fishing or shopping for a lawyer?
It's always important to have a lawyer, as much as it's important to have a doctor. But the society that we live in is such that if a married woman had a lawyer separate from the family lawyer, then the question is, why do you need an extra lawyer? Because people tend to believe that once you have a lawyer, then there's some trouble. I say it starts from even before you get married, when you're single. There's nothing wrong with you having a lawyer to advise you on the options. I'm going to get married, I have some land, I have some investments. What should I look out for? And that person becomes your lawyer. As a society, we always are very reactive, okay? And we need to be a bit more proactive in our dealings. There's nothing I would do, even if I wasn't a lawyer, that I wouldn't ask or advise or a second opinion of a lawyer, whether it's buying land. And, so there's a lot more reasons to have a lawyer than just because you're securing yourself in case there's a possible divorce, whatever. I would expect that in all your dealings, a lawyer obviously is important, so it's important to maintain that. Then, of course, there will be a family lawyer. I'm sure your husband, and most of the time, it tends to be the man's lawyer, becomes the family lawyer. And when there is an issue, clearly there'll be a conflict situation. You can't advise that person. But my advice is that for the youth, those of you who are good, always make sure that you have a lawyer that looks out for your interests in whatever you do. I don't do divorce per se, and I'm one of those lawyers. And look, lawyers, we need to take responsibility. If you can't handle the case, refer it to somebody else. Okay, you don't have to take on every case simply because it's going to bring money. People come to me and say, can you handle the divorce? I'm not a divorce lawyer. However, I've got a colleague who can handle the divorce for you. And they handle it. And I don't lose the client. In actual fact, the clients come back because they respect the fact that I was honest with them and I referred somebody else. And then when there's something that it's in the area of my practice, they still instruct me. So we need to, just sending out to my colleagues out there, we do need to be responsible. Right. If you're not good enough, you don't think you can handle the case, refer them. That's why we're at the bar, refer to somebody else. But, I've had so many cases where people have gotten married, the man has bought property, said, it's easier for me to put it in my name. Even though the woman contributed to the purchase price of the property, you're in love, of course, you're seeing things through a different, lenses. And then things don't happen, and then they find out later on, okay, now the man is claiming the property is mine. There's no proof that I contributed to this. What do I do? So, if the man loves you, he should respect your choice to seek advice, independent advice. That's what I always say, so long as you say, look, I think it's better that I also seek advice, and then so I can make an informed decision, so that's nothing wrong with you having your own personal lawyer at all.
Yeah, that's very important because Marion, it's the same with wills.
Yeah.
Once we think that once you have a will, that means why do you, or you tell your husband, let's have a will, and like, why do you want to kill me, or do you think I'm dying? And women, especially women, don't think that we need independent wills, because really everything is in the man's name anyway. So
You know, it doesn't work out that way because you may have your own self-acquired property and you have the freedom to choose who to give that property to. Sometimes what happens is, and I've had a personal experience like that, where the woman acquired the property or bought the land and bought it in the man's name. And when she was sick in hospital, the man never visited. I mean, that's another story. But then she died intestate. So who got the property? And it was in his name anyway. So if he marries somebody else and decides to leave a will, naming that person as the beneficiary of the property she toiled to buy, then her children miss out. They don't get anything. So you never know what's going to happen when you are not around. That is why it is extremely important that so long as you have self-acquired property, you have the right to leave it in any way that you want. And it's also important to note that the fact that you did a will in 2010 doesn't mean that it should stay the same till we are in what, 2016. You should update the will or have a new one drafted because your property keeps changing. Sometimes you may have given your car to your child. You may sell the car. It may be spoiled in an accident. You know, you may dispose of the property or you may get new property. So it's important to include all that information in your will. Because if you don't, what happens is whatever is not included in your will be shared through the intestate succession law. So then the various percentages of how property should be shared comes in. So I think it's important. It doesn't mean you are going to die.
Right.
It's just like when you go to see your medical practitioner for a general physical, maybe once a year or twice a year. It doesn't mean there's something wrong, but you are just taking proactive steps to deal with whatever life throws you at any point in time. Yeah.
And yes, I mean, just for the past week, I've heard it over and over again. Either a woman comes to you, tells you that, you know, my husband has brought another woman to the house, kicked me and the 1.5-year-old, you know, baby out of the home. And then we go to court. I saw my, you know, lawyer chatting with my husband.
The problem sometimes comes when we are entering relationships. We don't do what I would call due diligence. Check the person you are marrying. Some of these things you are talking about, some are not even marriages.
Yes.
Some are cohabitation.
Yes.
Which doesn't entitle you to anything as we speak. Our laws don't give you anything if you
That
marry.
reminds me, what happened to that bill that's there? So property rules for spouses. It's still
somewhere in Parliament. They are too busy about politics. They are not interested. So the issue is, if you acquire 6 houses with your husband, at the time you are acquiring them, are you thinking of yourself at all, or you are sleeping?
Why are women so afraid to ask questions?
Gifty, you, as I see you here, I'm sure you will ask questions because you have empowered yourself to the point that you know you're right and you'll ask. Many of our sisters don't want to know they're right. Even if you give it in their palm, they will just release it because they don't want to know. They don't want to know. So if you are in a relationship, as you are acquiring property, the law says that it is for the two of you. At the time you are going your different ways,
right,
that thing has to be, there should be settlement. Some will be given to you, some will be given to your husband, and some monies are due you by law, right, which we call financial provision. Your husband who says he's leaving you has to give you some lump sum money. It's your lawyer who has to argue some of these things for you. The houses, if there are 3, 4, he's supposed to share these houses between the two of you. If there are children under age, you, the woman, you are entitled to have custody of the children until they get to a certain age, about 7 years, before they can live with the husband can have custody.
Is this in the law?
It's in the No. So the lawyer you have in doing your divorce case for you is very, very important.
But Auntie Esther, I admit sometimes the lawyers, they don't help.
But Gifty, that is where I picked on what she said. She said empowerment. We place so much responsibility on the other side. Before you go and see a lawyer, these days we have the internet. Research. It's out there. Have an understanding of what your rights are. Have an understanding of what you're entitled to before you go and see the lawyer. So you can ask pertinent questions. You know, so before you're asking the lawyer, you have an idea. You may not understand it in entirety, okay, what this means, but you have an idea what you're entitled to. And if it means having to go to FIDA, going to do something, but empower yourself with information and knowledge before going to approach a lawyer. So when a lawyer tries to bamboozle you with the legal language and the talk, you say, no, I don't understand it, but I read somewhere that, or somebody said, can you explain this? You know, it's about empowerment.
I mean, if you give your case to a lawyer, you yourself must monitor your lawyer and make sure that the right thing is being done. You go to court, you hear the judge make comments that you don't like. It means that something is going wrong with your case. And you don't sit down and pretend that all is well. You have to look for ways of, and no law says that if you give a case to lawyer A, he must be the one to finish it for you.
No.
Midway, you can change 2, 3.
You have a right to change the lawyer.
We've heard stories in Ghana of how somebody was diagnosed with some ailment, went to another doctor, and they found out it was totally different.
Yeah.
And were being given medication that was actually killing them. It's the same thing with a lawyer. The lawyer who you've given your brief to may be the one who's killing you. And nothing stops you from seeking a second opinion and going like, finding out from another lawyer, okay, this is my case, blah, blah, blah. Of course, most lawyers will be reluctant to advise you because they may not have all the facts. And in as much as we are talking about the client, most of the time, whatever the client tells you is 50% of the truth.
Right.
You know, they may think that something they are keeping away is not necessary or relevant. But then as you begin to dig and, you know, communicate with them and gather your facts, you get more information than what they initially, you know, gave to you. So empowerment is key, engagement is key, shopping around is important. I have sisters, I have family. The fact that I left law school or I graduate law school this year doesn't mean that I am ready to go to court or ready to advise you.
And I must add also that the fact that the lawyer is a human rights female activist doesn't mean it's the right lawyer
For you.
There's certain divorce cases that don't need to be adversarial, you know, and it's what you want. So if you know, so long as your rights are protected and what you want is, you know, you don't have to get someone. I've had people come to me that, look, I just want a simple settlement, move away. My lawyer is advising me to do this and do this and do this. And that lawyer might have their own personal agenda, okay? Let's be truthful. Some of the lawyers have their own personal issues come into play.
Their own pain and bitterness and all that.
I have gone through a divorce, okay? I had somebody handle my divorce. I could be a lawyer who is very incensed by
So
men
as
in
a
general,
lawyer,
okay?
during your divorce, somebody else handled your case.
Somebody else handled my case. And I could be, for you know, somebody who doesn't like men. And I feel the society, and I could, in managing your case, put on a few things there that are my own personal issues, you know. So this is where it's important that you should have your own expectations. So if the lawyer is moving you into a different direction, say, no, I'm not really, you know, interested in this is what I want, you know. So again, it's about empowering ourselves. Once you empower yourself, it's different. When you're sitting in front of me and I'm a lawyer and you don't know anything about the law, you come and sit in front of me, of course you'll be intimidated because like, okay, I don't know anything about the law. But when you read something and you understand a little bit of the law, the confidence is different. You come in like, okay, I understand what lawyers do.
And I think it's also important if you are looking at things from the perspective of scale of fees to when you're shopping around. You know, our profession is such that when you have done a certain number of years, you can charge certain percentages, or you can, when it comes to how much your client should pay you. Of course, both of you can also agree on a fee. But if you go to a senior, if you go to a senior lawyer and they are handling your matter, they may have a certain amount they may charge you. You may go to somebody who has done less years, but also has acquired some experience, who may not charge as much. So it's important to also be aware of all these dynamics that are playing behind the scenes. Right. Some law firms, if you enter just to meet the lawyer for the first time and have a file opened for you, you will pay a fee. It's like consultation. Yeah, that's easy. Just like go to see the doctor and tell the doctor my head is paining me, he'll write a prescription for you. Some law firms may charge, maybe, I'm just putting this out there, maybe they may charge 1,000 Ghana cedis just to do that initial consultation and opening of a file. Maybe another law firm may charge 500 Ghana cedis, another may charge 200 Ghana cedis. So it's also important to shop around when it comes to these things, to know whether that is where you want to put your money. Yeah. And irrespective of how you are being helped, most of the times, some lawyers may waive their professional fees, but they may ask for you to pay for the filing fees because processes have to be filed. The petition would have to be filed. The response would have to be filed. Any other processes that have to. And so they may say, I will take that percentage, but then you have to pay the costs of filing those fees.
Let me take a break and come back. That is why I will never stop repeating this. As a woman, you need to be financially independent. That's another topic we have to revisit another day. But, well, let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth, Ophelia Crossland designed this dress for me. Especially Dora. Thank you so much, Dora, for this design. She actually had to pull bits and pieces here, and she came out quiet and nice for me. Thank you so much. Thank you to MHC Matilda Hood Couture. They take care of my BD needs. My hair is by Chocolat Hair. Makeup by Palba Cosmetics. They've been supporting us for over 6 years, and I'm so grateful to them. Loyalty hard to come by these days, but they've stayed true to us, and we are very grateful. And Applied by Makeup and More. We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Amma, and I'm a W Young professional.
My name is Benedetta. I'm a W in business.
Hi, I'm AC, and I'm proud to represent the W and family.
I have access to the best sources of inspiration, an outstanding mentor, career workshops, and more.
I am connected to a panel of professional advisors. I even got a new business partner through a W seminar.
Being a working mother is amazing, and W empowers us with special lifestyle offers, an early saver for the kids, and bank assurance protection for the whole family.
Sign on to W at any Access Bank branch near you.
Get inspired.
Get connected.
Get empowered.
W, inspiring, connecting, empowering.
Live! Hey, hi. One can. Neighbor in a to for dinner.
LEAP.
Lip tomato paste. What else?
Honey, when you say little tomato paste, be a idea. It's so be awesome.
Don't want to say hi.
Madam, the food tastes very good. What's the secret?
LEAP.
Lip. Lip tomato paste. Emma Edouania de Papa.
For bulk purchase, contact 050-140-1088.
I'm a mother and take so much delight in seeing that my kids are healthy. Want to know my secret? It's Kidix syrup. It's a multivitamin syrup full of vitamins and minerals which boost their immune system and increase their appetite for food. Kidix syrup is recommended for children between 6 months to 12 years. It's available at Oson's Chemist, Lanza Chemist, and all pharmaceutical shops throughout the country. Jukat Pharmacy, located in Kaswa, is the sole distributor for Kidix syrup. For bulk purchase, please call 0244-560-296. Kidix syrup, the perfect growth and appetite tonic for children.
Hush, my little baby.
For babies telling parents minor digestive upsets, or teething. Hearing mothers everywhere use Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture. It's quick, effective, and sure to leave babies smiling again in no time. Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture from Ennis Chemist, because everyone needs a chemist.
Well, I'm sure you at home, you have so many questions to ask, but the good thing is now you know. So when you go to your lawyer, you can ask all these questions and take advantage of that. One thing I will not forget is shop for a lawyer. Well, let me say thank you to our sponsors, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the Generator Expert, African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. They've been supporting women's rights organizations across Africa for over 15 years now. Thank you so much to them, because sponsorship is so hard to come by these days. Thank you to Auntie Mary Gripe Water and Mala 2, produced by Ernest Chemist. Thank you to Access W by Access Bank. We're also sponsored by Lip Tomato, good taste. And then Tinated Malacare, Tinated Venicare, and Tinated Tomacare. Thank you to all these sponsors. Now, what are some of the things, documents you need to take to a lawyer when you're handling divorce, child custody, child maintenance? Because if you say the man should bring it, what shows the man will bring everything?
He won't bring
that.
it.
What you as a woman, what are some of the documents that you need to prove your case that this man I know has money, and so will have to pay me this much?
You know, some wives are very good at picking documents here and there and keeping them on the side, just for the rainy day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some too, apart from the marriage certificate, and nothing else.
Nothing else. But if you come across your husband's property, he buys land and has indenture, it's good if you can make a copy of that indenture and put it in your own box. Let his own copy remain there for him. Or you know that he has this shares in this company, and one day you came across the share certificate. Make a photocopy, keep by the side. You will never know. So some of these small things, they look small, but at the end of the day, they will help to prove your case for you. If he says, I don't have money, I'm unemployed. How do you prove that? So you, a wife, you don't sit down in a marriage and close your eyes and fold your hands and believe that the man is going to be fair to you. Yeah. No. He won't be fair to you. You may not be lucky to get a judge who will be fair to you. You may not be lucky to have a lawyer who will be able to push your case without your evidence or supporting document. So you have to be war ready anytime.
Cynthia, in conclusion, you're a financial lawyer, and I know you're an entertainment lawyer as well.
Yes.
Do you think as a people, Ghanaians, we take these things seriously?
No. We are very reactive people. We're people we're very knowledgeable people. That's the strange thing about Ghanaians, is that we're actually very knowledgeable about other people's issues, yet we're not knowledgeable
ours.
about ours.
Yeah.
And we take things for granted. We don't seek information that benefits us as a people, you know. We assume that, the Jamaninka, and then at the last minute, we make decisions that are not based on informed choices. So we really need to change our attitude, towards this. I think my colleagues have said so much, and I would reiterate everything they have said. And look, you need to empower yourself.
Right.
You need to make sure evidence is important. I come across young girls who come and tell me sexual harassment cases, and I said, so do you have any proof? He said, he sent me a Snapchat and he sent me something, but I deleted it. You what? No, you need to make sure that you keep information.
Auntie Esther,
the law books, some of them are not very difficult. They are simple. The family law book. It's a simple thing. You will get a definition of what marriage is all about. There is a provision for you to register your customary marriage at the nearest district assembly. How many women do that? They marry you in the village. Maybe they haven't concluded the customary rights, and you are carrying yourself about you are a wife. What makes you a wife? What makes you a wife? You are not married. You have to put those details at the district assembly. If the man has another wife, he has to disclose that to the district assembly. Okay. Tomorrow, if you have that registration of your marriage, the customary marriage, if anything happens, you want to go to court. If you get extras from that district, the district assembly, you are proving your case. You just have to be wise. You have to be wise in choosing who you marry and how you live with that person, together with your children. If you don't do it, nobody will do it for you.
If you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. Marion?
Yes, Gifty. We've had an interesting discussion.
And I'm sure even you all being lawyers, with this discussion, we've all have learned something. Yes.
We've had an interesting discussion. What I will say in conclusion is start now. You may think that the only time you need a lawyer is when you're in trouble, or maybe when somebody owes you. But there are so many different aspects of your life in which a lawyer's advice could help enhance it or help improve the sort of decision you take or make. So start engaging now. Find out certain information, seek advice from lawyers. Don't take it for granted that once I'm married, it's rosy, nothing is going to happen. Even before you get married, it's important to find out, should I decide to walk out of the marriage, how can I be protected? In the event that my father dies, how am I protected? What does the law say I'm entitled to? Should my husband die before writing a will? What do I do? Who do I turn to? What are my rights? Certain things are bound to happen in life. And it is important that you, just like how you get a mosquito net to prevent you from getting bitten by malaria, get a mosquito net for your legal matters. In this case, get a lawyer.
Thank you so much. We take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. But before then, let me say thank you to the African Women's Development Fund, AWDF, for their support. We are so grateful. We'll be back. No circumstance is permanent. We keep saying it. Yes, we pray as Christians. We believe that everything will be okay. But just in case things go wrong, what are your safety nets? What do you have to fall back on? As women, don't let us take things for granted. Yes, fall in love. It's beautiful to be in love. But don't go mad. Don't lose it. Do not lose it. This is not being selfish. This is being wise. And as a Christian, my Bible tells me that we have to be as wise as serpents. We have to be wise. Being financially independent, it's my passion. Earn something for yourself as a woman. Invest. Save some money. Because you will never know what will happen. If nothing happens and your children, everybody, you can give it to charity and you'll be remembered for the rest of your life. But just in case something goes wrong, you will have something to fall back on. Be wise. Believe in God. Have faith in God. But be wise. Be wise. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.